everyone. Welcome back to the Converge With Us Podcast. I'm Valerie Williams, managing partner of Converge Firm. And for those who aren't familiar with Converge, maybe it's time for a reintroduction. We are a collective of coaches, consultants, change makers, advocates who are actively working to really evolve the workplace and to help organizations design more inclusive and equitable workplaces. So we invite you to learn more about us at convergefirm.com. But let's jump into our topic today. Today, I really want to talk about the dark side of DEI, the failure mode, if you will, of DEI. We've been receiving a lot of requests for support as organizations are really digging into their DEI efforts, into their strategy and their plans, and sometimes receiving not the level of impact that they're hoping from those efforts. And so I want to talk about what do you do when you're blocked or you're stalled within your DEI efforts, and what are the reasons why DEI efforts often fail or often stall within an organization. Okay, so we're going to jump into the top 10 reasons and the top failure modes for DEI efforts. And more importantly, we're going to talk about what to do to combat these reasons. All right, let's jump into number 10. Number 10, top reasons why DEI efforts fail. You fail to put your money where your mouth is and follow through. Okay, this is very, very recent, very current of what's happening in the DEI landscape. After George Floyd's murder, we saw a lot of pledges from organizations and workplaces and companies around resourcing DEI, really putting efforts behind improving their workplaces. And so as we look at the impact of those efforts 3 years later, we're starting to see fewer and fewer resources dedicated to DEI efforts. And so when you don't really resource this space continually, this is a major reason why DEI efforts can really stall within your organization. Number 9, DEI lives with individuals and not with the company. Okay, we often see really passionate employees, really passionate individuals that can be those internal change makers and can be leveraged for your DEI programs. And if those individuals who are super passionate about the work leave the workplace, that really can leave a dent in your DEI efforts. And so we want to make sure that when you're rolling out a DEI plan or a program, that you can figure out how to embed it in your systems and your structures so that it's not independent or it's not dependent on one individual or a couple of individuals to really make sure that the accountability structures are in place. Okay, so we can't just have DEI live with one or two people or even a committee or a group of people. We want to make sure that we have a way to embed it in the organization. All right, number 8. You fail to involve employees in the journey and communicate your progress and your plan. This is a big one for us. I think we should set a better expectation that change takes a while to happen, but how are you communicating those incremental changes that are happening over time? So we would recommend really a quarterly update on your DEI efforts and a larger annual update to your organization on your company-wide efforts so that you are adequately communicating your plan and how the plan is unfolding. And by the way, don't be scared to share your failures, right? Everything isn't going to always work out. You may pilot something and it may not work for your organization. Be transparent about those failures as well, and your employees will really understand that you're on an authentic journey. Number 7, you try to shove it down people's throats. Okay, this is not work that we enter into lightly, but we also don't want to force people to get intimately involved in this into DEI efforts without sharing with them the benefits of this work and without having clear accountability structures within your organization. And so we want to approach DEI with a more open approach, but also make sure that we have, again, a way to hold people accountable to the work through your processes and through your structures. Number 6, you try to solve for too much at once. Okay, we see this a lot with our clients, with other organizations, where you're doing so many things and you're spinning wheels and you have this program going on, you have this training, and it's just a lot. We want to make sure that you aren't doing too much all at once, it can really muddy the impact that you're having. So we always recommend three to four, maybe 5 focus areas, but we really recommend really getting focused with your efforts. And that really leads us to number 5. Failure mode number 5 is that you're unclear on the problems that you're trying to solve, okay? So often when you're trying to solve for too much at once and you're spinning your wheels and you're doing a bunch of things, you're often unclear on what you're trying to solve for. That's why we spend a lot of work within our strategy design process to get clear on our objectives, okay? Your objectives should be very clear, and each program or tactic or training that you roll out should really roll up into those objectives. Failure mode or reason number 4. You fail to tie DEI strategy to your business priorities. We have to connect this work to why does this matter to your business. We're doing work within a capitalistic structure. So the needs of the business will always be priority if you're in a corporation, if you're in a company. And so if you aren't tying DEI to the ultimate business priorities and outcomes of your organization, it will always fall to the wayside. So we want to make sure in our articulation of our efforts, we're not only getting clear of the problems that we're trying to solve within our organization, but we're clear on why this is important to our business. Okay, so let's talk about reason number 3, why DEI efforts often fail. Reason number 3, you fail to set goals and hold yourself accountable. Okay, goal setting is critically important to DEI work. And so if you're not thinking about OKRs, KPIs, really getting clear on how do we know that we're achieving the level of impact that we want to achieve with these efforts, you're really cutting yourself short with accountability within your organization. All right, reason number 2, leadership teams and boards diffuse responsibility to committees or individuals. We certainly have seen a rise in DEI committees or working groups, and also a rise in hiring of heads of diversity for organizations, which is awesome. This is an indication that the work is being resourced. But that doesn't mean that leadership teams or managers or boards don't have some level of accountability to this work. So you want to make sure that, yes, resource that committee, yes, hire that person, but also make sure you have a clear idea of what you want people to be focused on for DEI, especially with your leadership teams. Okay, and now the number 1 reason why DEI efforts fail, you are unclear on your why. And we have at Converge an entire workshop to help organizations really get clear on their vision for this work. DEI can mean so many different things. You can be solving for so many different things within DEI, so many different problems within your organizations, problems within society, things that we're trying to right. And it can be very confusing to know where to prioritize your efforts. And so starting with your point of view, your perspective, your why for this work is critically important to not only the foundation setting for DEI efforts within your organization, but also for the sustainability of those efforts. So we have to get clear on our why for this work. And your why will be a combination of business priorities, a combination of employee experience, how does it feel to work at your workplace, as well as your societal reasoning as well. We don't want to just be extracted from society. How do we give back to our clients and our ecosystem, right? So number 1, all the time, get clear on your point of view and your perspective. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful for you to think through why your organization may be stalled or effort, and really get to the heart of why things may be stalled or not getting to the level of impact that you would like. Check out these failure modes. Are these true for your organization? And reach out to us. Let us know how we can be helpful to coach you through how to really recharge your efforts and make sure that your DEI efforts are sustained. If you haven't checked us out, we're on Instagram at Converge Firm. We have a list of group of podcasts many podcasts that we have that you can check out on our YouTube page. And as always, you can reach out to us at convergefirm.com. All right, we'll see you next time.